Welcome back everyone. In today's video, I'm going to finish Act 5, Scene 1 of The Tempest, and this is video number 3. Here Prospero discovers Ferdinand and Miranda playing at chess. The door of the cell open and shows Ferdinand and Miranda playing at chess. Miranda, sweet lord, you play me false. You play me false? You are cheating. Miranda accuses Ferdinand of cheating, and Ferdinand quickly denies and claims that he would never do that for the world. Let me just turn the page and read out the lines for you. No, my dearest love, I would not for the world. Miranda, yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, dispute. That is, Miranda contradicts Ferdinand's grand assertion that he would never cheat, and I would call it fair play. Alonso, he sees Ferdinand. If this prove a vision of the island, vision, illusion of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose. He feels that he will lose his son once again if Ferdinand is a vision, an illusion of the island. Sebastian, a most high miracle. Sebastian is impressed here, or perhaps merely sarcastic. Ferdinand, coming forward, though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause. Here, Ferdinand says that he has cursed the seas for being turbulent, for having drowned his father, but the water also seems to be merciful, and he has cursed them without any cause. And then he kneels before Alonso. Alonso is a glad father. Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. He blesses, he showers his blessings over his son Ferdinand. Arise and say how thou camest here. Ferdinand rises. Miranda is also surprised. Oh wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here. And she sees all the people around on the island, and she is filled with wonder, and she exclaims with joy, how beauteous mankind is, mankind, the race of men. Miranda probably means humankind, although she has not yet seen another woman. Oh brave new world, it is indeed a brave new world, a wonderful new world for Miranda, because she has never seen so many people together on the island that has such people in it. Prospero, indeed, it is new to thee, it is a new experience to you, Miranda. Alonso, what is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance, your longest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. It has been only 3 hours that you are here on this island. So, when did you meet this maid? And is she the goddess that had severed us, that had separated us and then brought us together? Goddess? Ferdinand also assumed that Miranda was a goddess. Ferdinand, sir, she is mortal, she is a human, but by immortal providence, but by divine providence, she is mine. She is going to be my wife. I chose her when I could not ask my father, when I could not ask your permission. When you were not there here on this island for his advice, nor thought I had one. Ferdinand feared that he had lost his father. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, Prospero's daughter, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life and second father. This lady makes him to me. And then Alonso replies, I am hers, I am her father. Just as Prospero has become father to Ferdinand. Since Ferdinand and Miranda are getting married, Prospero will be Ferdinand's father and Alonso will be Miranda's father. So second father, Prospero will become Ferdinand's second father. I am hers, but oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness. I must beg forgiveness from Miranda because of all the crimes that I committed in the past. Prospero, there, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrances with a heaviness that's gone. Let us forget all this sadness which is now in the past. They have all reconciled and Prospero has forgiven all of them. Gonzalo, I have inly wept or should have spoke ere this. Look down, you gods, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither. So, Gonzalo says that he has been weeping within his heart, inly. I have wept inly. Or I should have spoken before this. He prays to the gods to shower a garland of happiness on this couple, that is Miranda and Ferdinand. He thanks God who have traced the path by which they are brought here on this island. He wishes the couple good luck and he also prays to God so that gods may bless them. I say Amen, Gonzalo. Gonzalo, was Milan thrust from Milan that his issue should become kings of Naples? Was the Duke of Milan driven from his state in order that his children might become kings of Naples? So the Duke of Milan to the Dukedom of Milan. Next, oh rejoice beyond the common joy. He tells everyone to rejoice and be happy and set it down with gold on lasting pillars, permanent monuments. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife, where he himself was lost. Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves when no man was his own. This speech delivered by Gonzalo is very important. Gonzalo wants everyone to rejoice with more than common joy and inscribe it in golden letters on pillars built to last a long period of time. In one voyage, Claribel found her husband at Tunis. Ferdinand, her brother, has found for himself a wife in the place where he was lost on this uninhabited island. Prospero has found his dukedom in a poor island, and they have all found their true selves when no man was in his normal state. When Antonio and Sebastian were in a frenzied state of mind, they recovered their normalcy. Alonso, to Ferdinand and Miranda, give me your hands, let's grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy. Gonzalo, be it so, amen, they pray. Enter Ariel with the master and boatswain amazedly following. Oh, look, sir, here is more of us. More of us? Gonzalo seems to forget Antonio and Sebastian. I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. Remember the very first scene of the Tempest? To boatswain, now blaspheming. I prophesied, as I told you, it comes in Act 1, Scene 1. And what is blasphemy? It was Sebastian who accused the boatswain of blasphemy in the play's first scene. Here, Gonzalo is very happy that he had prophesied long ago if there was still a gallows on land, this fellow, that is the boatswain, would never be drowned. To boatswain, now blaspheming. It was Sebastian who accused the boatswain of blasphemy in the play's first scene. I'll just turn the page once again and continue. That swearest grace overboard, drives God's grace overboard by swearing, not an oath on shore. Hast thou no mouth by land? Do you have nothing to say here on land? What is the news? Boatswain, the best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yare and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea. 3 glasses since, 3 hours ago, the running of 3 hour glasses gave out, declared, and the meaning of yare is trim and seaworthy. Boatswain informs that not only did they safely find their king and his friends, the ship they had reported to have been shattered is sound and ready, well fitted out as when they first sailed. Ariel aside to Prospero, Sir, all this service have I done since I went. Prospero aside to Ariel, my tricksy spirit, my clever little spirit. Alonso, these are not natural events, supernatural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. These are not natural happenings and they become more and more supernatural in nature. Say how you came hither, how you came here. If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I would strive to tell you we were dead of sleep. Dead of sleep, they were all asleep. They were in a deep sleep, and how it happened they did not know. They were all locked under deck. And how we know not, all clapped under hatches were, but even now with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible, we were awaked straightway at liberty, where we in all our trim freshly beheld our royal, good and gallant ship. So they were all locked under deck. There, only just now, with strange and varied sounds of roaring, shrieking, howling, rattling of chains, and further variety of noises, all of them terrifying noises, they were awakened. At once, they found themselves at liberty, and there in all her equipment, they saw their royal, good and gallant ship. The captain was dancing with joy to see the ship when, in a minute, just as things happen in a dream, they were taken away from the others and they were brought here in a dazed condition. Our master, captain of the ship, capering to eye her, dancing out of joy. On a trice, so please you, even in a dream where we divided from them and were brought mopping hither. Bewildered. The meaning of the word mopping is bewildered. Ariel, aside to Prospero, was it well done? Prospero, bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free. Prospero is so happy that he announces that Ariel will be set free. Alonso, this is as strange a maze as ever men trod. Echoes Gonzalo's description of the island. Here's a maze trod indeed. And there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Manager, director, some oracle must rectify our knowledge. Alonso is still amazed. He is still puzzled. And he says that this is indeed not natural and it is the most bewildering experience in life. There must be something that passes our understanding, a supernatural element. Only the voice of a God can enlighten them in this case. Prospero, sir, my liege, Do not infest your mind with beating on. Infest, do not trouble your mind with beating on, hammering out the strangeness of this business. At picked leisure, when we can find some spare time, which shall be shortly single. What is the meaning of this? Which shall be shortly uninterrupted. I will resolve you. I will explain everything to you. You do not worry about anything. Which to you shall seem probable of every these happened accidents, with an explanation that you will find convincing, probable, capable of proof. Till when, be cheerful and think of each thing well. Aside to Ariel, come hither spirit, set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. So Caliban will also be released. He will also be set free. And the other spirits will also be set free. How fares, my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not. Enter Ariel, driving in Caliban, Stephano and Trinculo in their stolen apparel. Apparel meaning dress. Stephano, every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio. What is the meaning of coraggio? Courage. Bully monster. Coraggio. Stephano means just the opposite here. Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Let every man look after the others, and no one take care of himself, for all depends on fortune. Trinculo. If these be true spies, which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight, if my eyes can be believed. So, Trinculo says that if the eyes which he has in his head, they do not deceive him, here is a splendid sight. Now, Caliban. O Setebus, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. Who is Setebus? Setebus is Caliban's god. Brave spirits, splendid spirits. How fine my master is. I am afraid he will chastise me. By Setebus, these are indeed wonderful spirits. How fine my master is. I fear that he will beat me. Sebastian. Ha ha. What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy them? Antonio. Very like one of them is a plain fish. Antonio's first reaction to Caliban is like that of Trinculo. And no doubt marketable. Prospero. Mark. But the badges of these men. Badges. Although they are carrying the clothes stolen from Prospero, Stephano and Trinculo are still wearing the insignia of Alonso's servants. Just note the dresses they wear, and then say if you think them honest. This misshapen knave, this deformed knave, Caliban, his mother was a witch and one so strong. Sycorax. Sycorax was a witch, one so strong that she could control the moon, make the tide ebb and flow. That could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. And she could exercise all the influence of the moon without the aid of her power. There 3 have robbed me, and this half-devil, for he is only a bastard, had conspired with them to kill me. 2 of them you know and can claim as yours. I admit that this evil one is my servant. This is what Prospero informs Alonso. These 3 have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he is a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. 2 of these fellows you must know and own. this thing of darkness I acknowledge mine. Caliban is his servant. Prospero's servant. Caliban, I shall be pinched to death. Is not this Stephano my drunken butler? Sebastian, he is drunk now. Where had he wine? Alonso, and Trinculo is reeling ripe. He is ready, drunk enough to reel about. Where should they find this grand liquor that had gilded them, that had flushed their faces? How camest thou in this pickle? How did you come to this predicament? Trinculo, I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never out of my bones. Trinculo refers to the foul lake into which he was led. I shall not fear fly blowing, because he is thoroughly pickled and preserved. Sebastian, why now? How now? Stephano, touch me not. I am not Stephano, but a cramp. Prospero, you would be king of the isle, Syrah. Stephano, I should have been a sore one then. Alonso, indicating Caliban, this is a strange thing as ever I looked on. Prospero, he is as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. So Caliban has a deformed, disfigured appearance, and he is disproportioned in his manners as well. Go, Syrah, to my cell, take with you your companions, you are set free. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely. Make a good job of decorating it. Caliban, that I will, and I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace, for forgiveness and favor. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool. Prospero, go to, away. Alonso, hence and bestow your luggage, the stolen garments where you found it. Sebastian, or stole it, rather, and exeunt Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo. Prospero, sir, I invite your highness and your train. What is the meaning of train? Your followers, to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night, which part of it I will waste, occupy, with such discourse as I not doubt shall make it go quick away. What will they do? Prospero invites Alonso and his followers to his humble cell, where they may rest for that night. Part of that night he would entertain him with talk, which will make the night pass quickly. It would be the story of his life and all that he had suffered, or all that had happened since he came to this island. And in the morning he would conduct them to their ship and so back to Naples. The story of my life and the particular accidents, events gone by since I came to this isle, and in the morning I'll bring you to your ship and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial, the marriage of these our dear loved solemnized. Here, the marriage of Ferdinand and Miranda, and thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grace. So, where much of his future shall be spent in meditation of death. Every third thought shall be my grave. Alonso, I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the years strangely. Indeed, it is going to be a very strange story. Prospero, I'll deliver all, I'll relate all the events, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sail to expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. Alonso's ship was separated from the rest of his fleet by Prospero's Tempest, and the other ships are now several hours further ahead. Prospero will relate everything, and he also promises Alonso calm seas, favorable winds, and a voyage so speedy that he will overtake his royal fleet a long way off. My Ariel, chick, that is thy charge. Then to the elements be free and fare thou well, please you draw near. Here, Ariel is set free. He is free to return to nature and Prospero bids him farewell. Let all draw near. And then we will turn to the epilogue. What is the meaning of the epilogue which is spoken by Prospero? Epilogue. Prospero addresses the audience, speaking to them not as the actor who has just performed this part, but as a character, with a future that lies beyond the stage and the world of the play. Learn this, read this properly. Prospero, now my charms are all overthrown. He no longer has his magic powers, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint, and the strength that is left in him is very feeble. Now it is true, I must be here confined by you or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got and pardoned the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell. Prospero wants to go back to Milan. He does not want to remain on this island, but release me from my bands, from my bonds, with the help of your good hands. The meaning of hands, sudden noises and specially the clapping of hands were thought to dissolve spells. He is speaking to the audience here. Gentle breath of yours, my sails must fill. Gentle breath, kind words about the play. Or else my project fails, which was to please. Project, enterprise. Now I lack spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults. Mercy itself, God himself, and frees all faults, as you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free. The meaning of indulgence is leniency of judgment and also remission of punishment for sin. Prospero is addressing the audience. For your descriptive question and answer, learn the significance of learn the analysis of the epilogue. Prospero is speaking these words in the epilogue at the end of the Tempest, and he is addressing the audience. Prospero says that now he no longer has his magic powers or any spirits to attend upon him and carry out his commands. Having previously indulged in the exercise of magic, he is now almost in a state of despair. In saying so, Prospero refers to the traditional belief that magicians in their last moments used to feel absolutely hopeless about their fate after death. Prospero appeals to his audience to pray on his behalf and thus save him from an evil fate. Prayer, he says, has such a tremendous power that the all-merciful God sitting on his throne is greatly influenced by it. Thus, prayer has the power to liberate a human being from the punishment for his misdeeds. This is the epilogue. Thank you for watching this video.